Hi, in this video lecture, we are going to see about the small signal analysis of CE amplifier. The two will take the specific case, the fixed bias CE amplifier. So the object of this video lecture is to understand the small signal output and to perform the AC analysis for fixed bias CE amplifier. So first see the region of operations of BJT. Okay, so BJT could be operated in three regions. Okay, one is saturation region where both emitter base junction as well as collector base junction is forward, and in the cutoff region where emitter base junction is reverse bias as well as your collector junction reverse bias. This is your cutoff region, and in between this unshaded area is the active region where the transistor emitter base junction is forward bias and collector base junction is reverse bias. Okay, so this is the active region and amplifier is normally operated. Cutoff and saturation we can do it when you operate your transistor as a switch. But to operate your transistor amplifier, the transistor will be operated in the active region. Okay, so what is an amplifier? An amplifier is the one which produces the faithful repetition of the input. Okay, so therefore if your input is sinusoidal, the output is expected to be sinusoidal output. So already in unit 1 we found the DC load line of fixed bias circuit where the maximum current is given as VCC by RC and your VCE voltage is given as VCC. Okay, so let me take that this operating point which is been established because it is in the active region. So we try to place the operating point in the middle of your active region. So this is the Q point. Okay, so this is because of your DC power supply. So if at all there is a small variation in your base current, then base current is going to vary in the order of microampere, but collector current we know that it is going to vary in the order of your milliamps. Okay, so the small variation in your base current is going to reflect as a current in milliamps in your collector current. Okay, and accordingly here we get a drastically a bigger output. Okay, so what is the maximum limit of this output swing we can have? That we see it in the later video lectures. So first let me see what are the notations we are going to use. So for DC biasing, it is always capital followed by the subscript being the capital, it is going to be used. So IB, VCE, VB, IC, so everything is going to be capital. And for AC instantaneous, it is all the small letters we are going to have. It is IB, VCE, VB, IC. And the total instantaneous is given as the current being in your small letters and your subscript being in your capital letters. And the phasor values is going to be given as it is your capital letters being used for your current and voltage, and the small letters is going to be used as your subscripts. Okay, so the instantaneous value is nothing but your phasor plus your AC quantity. Okay, so at any point it is going to be your DC plus AC will be your value. So first, small signal operation. Okay, by biasing your transistor, we already established a DC operating voltage. We established the current which is needed. So the input is going to ride over this, and for the small variation in your base current, there is a larger change that is going to get reflected on your collector current as well as your output. Okay, so we can view this as it is a superposition theorem of your DC and AC analysis. So DC analysis already we have done in your unit 1. Okay, so we have studied the different types of biasing where the operating point is provided and how the stability is been achieved. All this we have seen. Now it is the AC analysis part which you are going to view it in this video lecture. Okay, so first we'll take up the simple, that is your fixed bias CE amplifier. Okay, so we got the input coupling capacitor. The role of the input coupling capacitor is to block the DC component that is available in a signal. Okay, because using the resistor RB and RC we established the operating point. So we don't want any signal that is in your VS to disturb your operating point. Okay, so therefore we have this input coupling capacitor, and if there is no signal, the coupling capacitor is going to charge via this RB path. So therefore this end is plus, this is minus. And if you look at the collector, so we don't want any DC to be produced as your output, because we want the variation in your AC to get reflected in your output terminal. Okay, so therefore here this is plus, this is minus. So first, whenever we have to write, whenever we want to draw the AC equivalent circuit, first of all we have to replace the coupling capacitors by the short circuit, because for a AC signal the capacitors will act like a short circuit. Okay, so therefore your C1 and C2 is going to be short circuited and the DC source will be removed. Okay, so the DC source is being removed, so therefore your RC is being connected to the ground. Okay, so we have drawn the AC equivalent circuit. So next, the procedure to draw your AC equivalent circuit is we have to short circuit your DC source and your coupling capacitors should be short circuited. Next, we have to replace your transistor with the hybrid pi model. Okay, so you can see here, so we got here at your PS, you got a RB, then this transistor is now to be replaced with the hybrid pi model. Okay, so now I have replaced your transistor with the hybrid pi model. This is your HIE, HFE, IB, and then this is your RC resistor, that is the biasing resistors which you have used. Okay, hybrid model I have replaced it. So the input impedance. So the input impedance is source seen impedance we have to find out. So you can see this RB and HIE, they are in parallel. Okay, so ZI will be equal to, it is RB parallel HIE. Okay, and RB is a very large quantity compared to HIE, so the input impedance will be approximately HIE, because when two resistors are in parallel, the equivalent resistance will be equal to the lowest one. So HIE is going to be the lowest one, so therefore your input impedance is approximately HIE. Okay, next, voltage gain. AV is equal to V0 by Vs. If you take out your V0 is the drop across your RC, so which is I0 times RC. But if I apply the KVL to this loop, I0 is equal to minus IC. Okay, so therefore it is minus HFE IB times RC. Okay, so that is your V0. And what about your Vs? Vs is equal to, it is IB times your HIE. Okay, so we use this relation, we cancel this IB, and therefore we get AV is equal to minus HFE RC divided by HIE. So this minus term indicates that the input signal and output signal, they are out of phase with each other. Next, current gain. A is equal to I0 by IS. Okay, what is I0? It is nothing but your IC, which is equal to HFE IB. Okay. Okay, I0 will be equal to, it is your IC which is equal to your HFE IB. Next, your AI. Okay, IS. IS is equal to, it is I1 plus IB. But I1, it is going to be very small quantity because RB is a very larger value. So therefore IS is approximately IB. So therefore you can write your A is equal to HFE IB by IB. So IB will get cancelled. So A is approximately HFE. Next, output impedance. To compute your output impedance, we have the standard procedure. That is, we have to short circuit the AC source. So Vs has to be made 0. And you have any load, then you have to remove the load. Here RC will act as a load resistor. So if I remove the RC, when Vs is been made 0, Is is equal to 0, IB equal to 0. So then HFE IB, that is your collector current, that will also become 0. So it will appear as if that it is a open circuit. Okay, so R0 is infinite, but with the load resistor RC taken into account, then it becomes infinity parallel RC. So therefore it becomes approximately equivalent to RC. Okay, next, the same AC analysis of the fixed bias amplifier, we will do it by using the hybrid pi model. Okay, because we got two models for your transistors. One is your hybrid model and hybrid pi model. So first we did the analysis with the hybrid model. Now we will see the AC analysis with hybrid pi model. Okay, so here instead of HIE you are going to have R pi, and instead of HFE IB you are going to have, it is GMV pi, and R0 is the yearly that is your output resistance including your yearly effect which is taken into account. So the input impedance ZI will be equal to, it is RB parallel your R pi, RB is going to be a very greater quantity compared to your R pi. So therefore ZI will be approximately R pi. And voltage gain AV is equal to V0 by Vs. So V0 is going to be, it is minus GM V pi R0 parallel RC. But Vs, we know that it is nothing but your IB times R pi, which is equal to V pi. Okay. So Vs is nothing but your VB, which is equal to your V pi. So therefore your Vs is equal to V pi. So if we substitute it, we get V0 by Vs is equal to minus Gm times it is R0 parallel RC. Okay. So if we neglect your R0, that is the early effect, into consideration, then AV becomes minus Gm times RC. Again, this negative sign indicates that the input and output are out of phase with each other. Next, output impedance. To get your output impedance, we have to set your input voltage 0 and the load resistor is to be removed. So when Vs is equal to 0, V pi is equal to 0, your IB is equal to 0. So therefore, it appears like it is an open circuit condition. But with R0 into, okay, so when V pi is equal to 0, your IB is equal to 0, HFE IB will be 0. So only the impedance that is left out there from the output side, it is only R0. So when RC is been included, then Z0 will be equal to, it is R0 parallel RC. Next, current gain. Current gain A is equal to, it is I0 by Is. I0 is equal to GM V pi. Okay, and Is is nothing but your IB. So it gets, the terms will get cancelled. Okay, so you get your AI is equal to GM times R pi. So to summarize, the voltage gain in your fixed bias amplifier, it is proportional to your biasing resistor RC. But increasing the RC will make your amplifier to operate closer to your cutoff region. Because as you increase your RC, collector current will be a very smaller quantity. So the amplifier will try to operate closer to the cutoff region. Okay. And the input impedance, that is either you take your HIE or R pi, it is going to be of a very few ohm in a CE configuration, around 1 kilo ohm to 1.2 kilo ohm. Okay, this is the textbooks which I have used it as a reference to prepare this video lecture. Thank you.